Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria. I keep saying it and I keep repeating myself that the Obidient Movement, which propelled Peter Obi to the top of Nigerian politics today, is bigger than Peter Obi. When you hear the Nigerian youths say that Peter Obi is not just running for president, that they are the ones running for president through Peter Obi, better believe it, because it's true. And I hope that Peter Obi continue to realize it too, so that he doesn't pander to those who for any reason want to demonize the Obedients. You know, there are those who derogatorily call the Obedients the Obidients. You may call them whatever you like. These people are the engine room behind the success of Peter Obi. If the Supreme Court eventually agrees that truly Aswad Bola Tinubu's announcement as President of Nigeria was an error, and that Peter Obi truly won the election and should be sworn in as President of Nigeria, the people that should take highest credit should be the Obidients after Mr. Obi himself. Obi will take first position before the Obidients because it was his integrity, his good governance in Anambra State, his incorruptible leadership that made him the choice of most Nigerians, that made him the most trusted leader in Nigeria today, who can be trusted with the treasury of Nigeria, and everybody will go to sleep without fear that Peter Obi will tamper with the resources of Nigeria or allow his cronies to steal Nigeria, loot Nigeria, the way the leaders of PDP and APC government have done in the past. In over 2 decades, they were in charge of leadership of federal government. That is why every time that Peter Obi had gone to apologize on behalf of the Obidients, he always shoots himself on the foot. He missed the mark. And all those apologies has never yielded anything positive for Peter Obi. Because he tries to pander to some of those that will never be converted to his own side of the story. When Peter Obi literally apologized on behalf of the Obidients to Professor Wole Soyinka, what was the gain? Nothing. When he apologized to Femi Kuti, what was the gain? Nothing. I think Peter Obi should learn his lessons from all those unnecessary apologies and continue to enjoy the support of the Obidients, who are the reason why Peter Obi is a household name in Nigeria today. So I was not surprised when I later found out that one of the reasons why Peter Obi decided to delete a tweet in which he referred to Aswad Bola Tinubu as Mr. President was as a result of pressure from the Obidients, who was taken aback and never liked it one bit that Peter Obi, for whatever reason, referred to Aswad Bola Tinubu, who they believe stole their mandate, as Mr. President. And how did it all start? It started from the large motorcade convoy of Aswad Bola Tinubu when he returned to Lagos after weeks after he had been sworn in as president, since the constitution does not allow vacuum, and the Supreme Courts and the Court of and the Election Petition Tribunal have not yet finished with the matter of those challenging his presidency or his victory at the polls. And nature abhors vacuum. They have to put somebody there after Buhari's tenure ended on May 29th. There were talks of interim government and all that. But at the end of the day, the constitutional process was followed. And the person that INEC announced as the winner of the election, election that had been found wanting in several fronts, including by international observers like the European Union, other international observers, local observers, that the election was less than transparent. Yet, the product of that opaque election that lacked transparency had to be sworn in so that there will be no vacuum. So Tinubu, as it is today, before the Supreme Court rules, because I keep on saying the Supreme Court, because even after the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal rules, this matter will still go to the Supreme Court, because if the appeal court or Presidential Election Petition Court, which is sitting at the appeal court in Abuja, by the time they deliver judgment and say that Tinubu was not properly elected, Tinubu will go to the Supreme Court to appeal it. So at the end of the day, everything will be settled by the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Okay, before this will happen, Tinubu remains the president of Nigeria. But all Nigerians has come to recognize that. But those who are the principal actors challenging the election, they are free not to recognize him because they are challenging him. Because recognizing him it gives an indication as if they have appreciated or accepted the processes that brought him to power. That was why former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who was the candidate of the PDP in the election, has never addressed Tinubu as president. Peter Obi had never addressed Tinubu as president until Friday, when he made a tweet about the 120-car convoy of Tinubu, which was raising a lot of concern by Nigerians, because Nigerians were saying, wait a minute, Tinubu told us that we should sacrifice, that we should pay more for fuel, that he has removed subsidy for fuel, and we are now buying fuel for over 500 naira per liter. How can he, in all honesty, expect Nigerians to be sacrificing while his convoy is saying otherwise? He's sending a different message. Okay? So, Peter Obi was interviewed by the media for his position. And Peter Obi said that it was not right that Nigerians should be told to sacrifice, and leaders at all levels will continue to live like in the past. They have to show sacrifice too. They have to live by example. Now, Peter Obi went ahead to write a tweet, his official Twitter handle at Peter Obi. And in the process of writing it, he did say that he has not seen the convoy video, which was exactly what he said when he was interviewed by the media. But that the convoy of Mr. President is sending a wrong signal, and that he wouldn't have supported something like that, that he never supported something, those kind of waste. And of course, there are tons of videos available where Peter Obi had made it clear that he does not support waste in government. Right from the time he was governor in Anambra State, how he was able to reduce his own convoy, reduce wastage of fuel by having so much convoy and all that. But in that video, he now addressed Tinubu as Mr. President. And I have done a video where also I feel that he was right to have deleted that video after. They deleted that part of his tweet. Because you are challenging somebody that stole your mandate, allegedly. So there's every need for you to portray that sense of betrayal by INEC, by not acknowledging that person as true winner. Because if you are acknowledging him, it means you are agreeing with INEC, with what they did that have been condemned by local and international observers. Not the least of which was INEC's failure to transmit the presidential election result from the beavers to the INEC IREF, which they promised to do. They were able to successfully transmit the House of Reps and the senatorial results, but they couldn't transmit the presidential result, and they said there were glitches. But it has been established by several people that these so-called glitches was a cover-up for the alleged rigging perpetrated by INEC in cahoot with members of the ruling party. So Peter Obi not addressing Tinubu as the president. As far as I'm concerned, it's another legally. It's just like you coming to accuse your neighbor of stealing your property at the police station. Then after you have reported the matter, and the same police people saw you hailing your friend, this same friend of yours, and say he's your friend, and you were chatting and laughing and doing as if nothing bad happened. You are doing damage to your own case, because your friend can as well say that he didn't steal your property, and the police watching can say, man, if that man stole your property as you were saying, why are you so cozy with him? So it doesn't make sense for Peter Obi to have addressed Tinubu as Mr. President while the matter is still in court. And I think Peter Obi rightly understands this and withdraw that aspect of his tweet. Now, on that ground alone, on this issue of disputation of the election result, that it's not right for Peter Obi to address him as the president, it was a good point. Only for me to later found out that one of the reasons, perhaps the major reason why Peter Obi deleted that tweet was because he received a backlash from the Obidients. And I'm happy too that Peter Obi listened to the Obidients and deleted that tweet. Because Peter Obi cannot afford to go against the Obedients, because the Obedients are the main engine, while Peter Obi is the vehicle that is moving Nigeria towards a new Nigeria. And that the Obedients are the reason why even Tinubu is having any challenge at all the few weeks he has been in power. Because the Obedients are truly the only opposition in Nigeria today. With a few dollars, many leaders of APC and PDP can be bought, but you can't buy the Obedients. That is the problem. They are legions. You can't buy them. So they remain the critical force that will continue to put Tinubu on his toes until the Supreme Court finally rules on who actually won the February 25 presidential election. And if for any reason the Supreme Court allowed the charade that INEC did to stand, and they say that Tinubu should continue to be president for the next 4 years, I can tell you for free, from what I have found out, the only opposition that would continue to tackle Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and put him on his toes are the Obedients. Not the PDP, not the Labour Party, because there are so many people who are ready to sell out in all those parties. But Tinubu will continue to contend with the Obedients. And the Obedients are not going anywhere. They are the majority of Nigerians, the unseen Nigerians who are suffering because of the poor policies, the wicked policies of the APC administration and the PDP administration before them. So the Obedients, they were right in pushing for Tinubu, for Peter Obi to delete that tweet referring to Tinubu as Mr. President. And Obi is smart enough to know where the power lies. The power lies with the people. It is with the people. They have done all kinds of things. The opposition to Peter Obi has done so many things. There is nothing they have not done against this man. Yet, he was not the one that was announced as the winner of the election. He has to wait to go to Supreme Court for it to be confirmed that he was truly the winner of the election. But they have turned him into an object of attacks in all ways possible. They are the ones that concocted that he was talking about religious war. Whereas the real people that pushes for religious war, religious conflagration in Nigeria, people like former governor of Kaduna State, nobody is talking about him now. When he was caught on video talking about what he thinks the position of Christians in Nigeria should be, he didn't come out to defend it because there was nothing to defend. You can't defend the indefensible. He has gone back to his cocoon. Well, Nigerians are still watching what Tinubu will do. Whether Tinubu will reinforce that statement of El-Rufai by giving him what they call juicy position that are required, reserved for a certain group of people from certain religion. While those who are Christians are supposed to occupy the position of hewers of woods and drawers of water. I can't remember exactly how it was expressed in the Bible. Nigerians are waiting whether Tinubu will reward El-Rufai. He is waiting in the wing. Nigerians are waiting for who Asiwaju will announce as his ministers. The real religious bigots who have no regard for people of other faiths. Nobody's talking about it. It was Peter Obi, a very religious, tolerant, and obeying technocrat who have employed more people than many people could imagine from the diversity of Nigerian corporate world. He's being called names. All part of the process to demarcate him, to demonize him, so that Nigerians from sections of the country will hate him. There is nothing they have not done and are still doing to diminish him. But his integrity remains intact. He remains the only credible person in the last election who really truly saved Nigeria. He is the only one that could fight corruption because he is not corrupt. Unlike those who competed with him for that position, who smell corruption, oozes corruption. Whenever they open their mouth, the corruption oozes out of their mouth. And you cannot save Nigeria without dealing with corruption. So forget about all the cosmetic reforms going on. If corruption is not dealt with, everything is just bad and ash. The only candidate who said that he will fight corruption, and Nigerians believe him that he will fight corruption because of his lifestyle, because of his antecedent, is Peter Obi. And those who have been able to make him household name when he was treated as an outsider who has no structure. It was the Obidients that created the structure that made him to win majority of the states in the election. Because when the truth were told about this election and everything go, had it been that the people that will administer this election result, let's say it was the United Nations that would pretend over these affairs, you'll be shocked that even Tinubu did not win up to 8 or 9 states in Nigeria. And even with the flaws in our legal system, there are ample evidence to show that Tinubu did not win Rivers State and that he did not win Benue State. And the list goes on and on. But at the end of the day, let us wait for what the court will say. Whatever the court says, the country will move on. The decision of the court would finally show whether Nigeria is indeed a banana republic. Already it's a given that Nigeria is a very corrupt country. So, moving from corruption to banana republic will be sealed by what the Supreme Court will say about the presidential election that was held on February 25. And whatever's happened, if it doesn't go according to the will of Nigerian people, if it goes according to the will of a few, Nigeria will move on. Nigerians will move on. But I can tell you for free, even when Nigeria moves on, the peace you are having will be the peace of the graveyard. That is what we have. We will move on and keep on moving on, praying that one day there will be divine intervention to deal with corruption in Nigeria that have permeated every aspect of our lives, including the judiciary, including all other organs of governance. But what you cannot take away in all this is that the Obidient Movement has become so big that it is no longer a movement that could be suppressed. It is the only movement now that will form the opposition to any government that is not geared towards a new Nigeria. That's a fact. So we have to give credit to the Obidients for what they have been able to achieve, and also appreciate Peter Obi for recognizing that the Obidients should not be toyed with. And also take note of that he should no longer, under any guise, apologize to anybody about what the Obidients said or did not say. The Obidient Movement are organic movement. People have often said that they are only on social media, but they have proved their method by helping Peter Obi to win more states than any other presidential candidate in the election. They were able to make Peter Obi the most acceptable presidential candidate that is loved, even weeks after the election. People still literally worship this man, not because they see him as a perfect man, but he represented a hope for a new Nigeria. So the Obidient Movement has changed the trajectory of Nigerian politics for good. And Peter Obi had been the vehicle they use to show their hands and to show what is possible in Nigeria. Many of them are the products of the INSAS protests, while others are those who usually believe in sit down look until Peter Obi opened their eyes of what is possible, that the office of the citizen can become as powerful, or if not more powerful, than those who occupy positions right now. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you will be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. God bless you and yours.